Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Unity of Command 2. We're playing the Demyansk offensive, January 7th, 1942. The Soviet Northwestern Front has a supporting role for the winter counteroffensive. It is to launch spalling attacks in two directions, north to support Volkhov Front and south to support Kalinin Front. In February, a further opportunity is identified to encircle exposed German troops at Demyansk, and we have to get Demyansk and Veliki Luki. And as bonus objectives, so it's going to be another fun mission. After a month of relative calm, Northwestern Front must now use fresh reserves to support our broader counteroffensives. Enemy forces are stretched, with their right flank on the army group boundary being the weakest. The terrain is awful and all mobile reserve formations are needed elsewhere. Use infiltration to isolate strong points, then reduce them with superior numbers one by one. Torpedoes turn 5, Veliki Luki 7, Demyansk 12, Stayarusa 6, Soltsi 8, and Kolm 12. Now we'll just go along and get started here as I start talking about everything that's going on with this mission. Once again, this mission is quite luck-based. For whatever reason they thought that would be a very fun thing to do. So there we go. This DLC tends to have a lot of that, actually. A lot more than the other DLCs, which is what makes this DLC harder. Unless you don't care about getting all the objectives, then it's pretty easy. But this game tends to, or this DLC tends to be like that. Not going for any of the secondary objectives, or going for very little of them, makes this DLC a joke. But going for all the objectives, which is what the devs do not want you to do, will make it extremely difficult. And extremely luck-based as well. Anyhow, I need to create a pontoon bridge over here. And let's take this, move you up, bam, 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 and bam. Let's keep it at 100. Let's deal with the supply. One here, and one over here. Alright, and with that, we can get started. So, there are a few things going for this mission. First of all, you need to get really lucky down there to get to Veliki Luki. Veliki Luki is empty, but on turn 4 they're going to get a infantry division with an engineer step. In order to get to Veliki Luki on turn 4, before that infantry gets there and gets entrenched, because Irisgruppe Nord has literally the entire field as its range. So you need to get there on turn 4, because otherwise you're not very likely to be able to take it. In order to do that, you need to be lucky here. So you have to attack here first, then you have to attack with these guys. Attacking with these will not allow them to retreat. So you need to attack here, and they need to retreat as well. They did. If they don't retreat, you cannot get here on turn 4, and I'll talk about why. I also cannot lose that specialist step, so this needs to be a 1-1. Okay, once that's done, you can basically go in here and get to the bridge. If you don't get to the bridge on turn 1, you cannot get to Veliki Luki on turn 4. Why is that? Well, they'll destroy the bridge on turn 1 if you're not there. And the Northwestern Front, even at Velde, is so far out that even if you move it prior to the game starting and then down, you will not get there fast enough. So they cannot destroy that bridge on turn 1 or you're gonna be in trouble. If you fail to do any of that, forget Veliki Luki on turn 4. Straight up. Like, you cannot get it, and because you can't get it on turn 4, you're extremely unlikely to get it before turn 7. I'd say it might be possible, but I wouldn't count on it for the world, basically. Okay, now go down you in there. These guys, I would And I forgot to give you sappers. That doesn't have to matter if they get their supplies on the next turn, I suppose. Okay. Now, they would not lose their specialist step. The main problem there... Like, I want to prevent these guys from getting to Demyansk, because if they're going to move into this hex, that primarily means that, you know, we're going to be in trouble. Let's just start here. And I want to do this in such a way that they cannot at least get their engineering step back. Alright. Why do I want to block them off from Demyansk? Well, if they get right next to Demyansk, what will happen is because they have this 21 centimeter Mercer, they can always, at all times, kick your unit off of Demyansk and retake it. And then you're just going to take gazillion casualties. So you don't want to be in that position. So I'll definitely try not to get them there, but get them to move further down. This is obviously not ideal, but it's decent. Oh, I messed that up. So you back, because I can still use a set piece. It just makes it a bit easier to deal with that. Okay. Let's also move them down one, so I can actually get these guys in supply. Or at least within the Northwestern Front's area as well. Okay. Yeah, so they attack them. They're cornered. They're likely to die here. Let's see what they do, though. They retreat. And they're going down. That's pretty good. I don't care that they kill these. In fact, what's even better is that they did not reinforce Demyansk. I guess that's a bit weird, but oh well. Alright, anyway, step 2 down here is you need to move in here. Now, the only way you can get to attack this unit is by having a ski unit. If you didn't have a ski unit, your unit would be blocked here. So they would be moving with these guys over there. They'll get blocked because they'll be like, hey, I see a unit, and then they can't move anymore. So you need to go attack. Interesting. Okay, that's not in my plans necessarily. Despite what's going on, I'm gonna move them down and allow these guys to come back, because I don't care for that. Yeah, exactly. Okay. They have a unit parked in there. That's not a problem, really. Okay. I do want to try and get Demyansk fast enough as well here. Starya Russa is nice, but it's not a priority to get that quickly. The 3 and 1 there is pretty good, but this unit is the problem for now. Well, let's see though. I can move in here. The thing is, I'd rather not have them retreat. Especially not down there. for them to retreat, that would be highly unfortunate. Because then I have to deal with them again. Okay. Go in here. I think this way, I don't think they'll be okay retreating there. Okay, that's also fine. Okay, that does suck. But let's continue to press here. And they'll kind of like recover, but wow, they did not even retreat there. Holy smokes. That is unfortunate because I kind of needed that space as well. Well, if that's all I can do, I might as well give them more experience. Actually, yeah. Let's get you there. Okay, well, I guess that's it for this turn. Let's see. Should have checked supply. That's fine. Okay, so now I'll move you this way, you here, and use that to kill them. At which point I can now do this. They'll lose some stuff. Move you back. Only get one suppression there. Not great. Let's move you in there. It's like a 80% overrun. Okay. I guess I would have to get that overrun there though. So by moving here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I can get into Veliki Luki on time. They don't tend to get something into Torpedes, I think, because this is just too far. 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. But yeah, getting there is the trickiest. So I have the choice now. Do I want to get into Demyansk? I mean, this attack is not good. Let's just give it one more turn here and get those things on turn 4. So especially now, I think they'll potentially be okay there. Yeah. Okay, they are cornered, but I don't really care. Killed them, and this unit will not be able to do that. So then I've taken Demyansk. Now my goal is to get the rest of their units also out of supply. Let's take that because it can only benefit them. So at this point these guys will be isolated. They cannot get back to Demyansk and take it. I mean, theoretically they could, but that's just not gonna happen here, I think. That's not much. This is my next priority though, but let's think this through. You can only go here. You're already out of supply for a turn. So if I were to move it there, it would be out of supply. So I can't. But I can move you here, back, and you over here. And even though not all of them are going to be doing particularly well like this, let's just hope that we're going to do well enough. And that these guys don't get pushed back. I mean, they might though. We'll see. Do want to block these guys a bit too. How are we on supply? Very poor. Okay, let's get rid of this as well. Should have done that before already. That will make it lose force pull, and I don't need it there, so getting there is probably good. Okay. Okay, they attacked them. That's pretty good for me because they didn't retreat. This is fine. I don't care that much. It still sucks, but okay. Let's attack them. Get the supplies. And now basically almost all the rest of the enemy units are out of supply. We can take Veliki Luki by turn 4, otherwise you're gonna have to deal with a very powerful unit in there, which is also not good. Okay. Let's start with the weaker units. I think this is one of the more powerful units ultimately. And I don't want to attack with you. Yeah, it sucks, but bye. They're only just cornered? Oof, okay. Jeez. Take Starya-Russa. And I'm gonna choose the free option. Okay. Now we need to take Kulm, which is also very challenging. Probably the most difficult out of all objectives, but well, I don't want to say there's a catch, that's not really the case. Okay, so all of them will be out of supply. These will be out of supply for 2 turns, so they can no longer attack. Now I need to start preparing for getting Kulm, because Soltsi is a joke. Okay, let's move you forward. Now that this is taken. I don't need to get my supply dump there yet, but I will need to remove this one. One other thing that I need to start dealing with soon is with this. Ideally, I'll get them on the next turn, repair the bridge, because I do need supplies up there. This is currently not looking too great. Now, let's start moving these guys down, because they're engineers. I have no points left for this turn. Where do the supplies go to? Because it's a bit further. Even here would they potentially get some supplies, and I can always recover it with the actual Northwestern Front. Okay, I don't want to be right next to these, but I do want to move this. And I'll move these guys down as well, because there's still that unit that will spawn there that needs to be dealt with. I'll put a supply depot here to deal with the units in this area. I'll leave this one this turn here, and then next turn, if I can take that, then I'll get rid of it. Enemy unit spawns there. Okay, well, the fact that there's basically one thing that I think is really interesting here. The fact that they moved the HG Nord over to this side. Because, yeah, we'll see how beneficial that is, but let's make sure they'll be cut off for a third turn. And they will be. So next turn I can just attack them and take it. Okay. Northwestern Front got 0, probably because they had to deal with a lot of replacements, but it also means that I cannot get this on the next this turn here. Judging the situation, they still cannot get any supplies there. And let's just also make sure that they won't, basically. I don't think it's a good idea to start giving it to them. Right. I actually want to replace the units there. Ah, that's very lucky. They can get into Veliki Luki, and I'm inclined to do that. So I want the engineers to go to Kolm, because Kolm is going to be difficult to take. Yeah. There we go. And then here. Obviously not attacking with you, but frustrating. I might as well stay there. Okay. Let's also try to get some of those in supply. You can move forward for the moment. If I were to be able to attack that and get it, that would also give me a lot of supplies, which would have been nice. Yeah, it sucks, but I think getting it down to 1 for now is also the best. Let's move you down 2 so I can actually go and harass that unit. These guys will not be able to do a whole lot there anyhow. And there are no other units that can threaten torpedoes either way. Yeah, that's meaningless. Okay. Kill them. Repair the bridge. I still cannot do that now. But let's get Soltse. Give me sappers. I'll kill them now, even though I'm taking losses, because later on it would just be a big problem to do that. Now for the moment I'll put this here. I'm quite sure that in terms of supplies it'll be a bit better, but it will allow me, at least for now, to remove that one. No real reason to get all riled up in that section. Okay, since they are dead, there are now no more units in here. I might as well move you up too now and keep you in there for the moment. There we go. So this unit is the biggest problem. Kampfgruppe Scherer. Ideally, Army Group North will be pushed further back, but yeah, jeez. Wow. Let's get you back. You should have some supply there. I'm gonna remove this one for the moment. I know that gets them out of supply, and that's obviously not great. But what I'm banking on... okay, I'm keeping everything except force pull this way. Almost everything has poor supply now. Let's move through there. Actually, now that I think about it, if I can, I will not remove it, because I think that will put them at least in supply, and that's pretty good. The situation most certainly doesn't look ideal, and I guess it isn't, but I actually think it will go a bit better than what it looks like now. But let's not rush it. There's no reason to move them down at the moment. Kill those. You can move up. I will try to separate the Heeresgruppe Nord from Kolm, because if I can separate them, it means that if I get rid of their entrenchment, they can't re-entrench, and I think that will be highly valuable. Interesting. Disbanded. Perfect. Okay. That means that they cannot redeploy it around Kolm. And that I can now really focus on getting there in the last 5 turns. So now that I can get supplies here, I want to put a depot right up here. And move you back. Kill them. Take this. Let's move these towards this area so they might actually help. Now it's my job to get the Northwestern Front to be able to get into contact with those guys. And the way I can do that is by building a few pontoon bridges so that they'll be able to support the units over on this side while I move down. So if I can get the HQ over here, luckily it still only has issues with force pool. Okay, so none of those guys can do something like that. That's fine. Okay, you can move in there. Let's do so. They cannot attack anyway. Okay. Now that I got this depot working at least up till here. Next turn we'll get some reinforcements. Let's get the majority of our units to keep working. I think my calculation sheet is pretty bad. Kinda. Okay, well, as for supplies, well, first of all, you need to go here. This ski unit is much more powerful than the other one. Let's keep you there. This is also a pretty powerful unit. Get you on the railroad. And I'll remove this one. Demyansk will be out of supply for now, but that's okay. Alright. Can both of these. No need to keep them off of torpedoes now. These guys can take that on the next turn. You can take that. So they'll be looking good. There's no unit that can threaten Demyansk. And I can do set piece attacks now at leisure. They cannot get it back anyway at this point. Let's get you across. I know they can't immediately use it then, but I have some time. Some time, but not a whole lot. At least I have everything here. It also means I can do some feint attacks meanwhile. Problem is, of course, that these guys need to recuperate for quite a bit. Now that it doesn't necessarily get me a whole lot for now, but I can also reshuffle. And I need to wait for the next set piece attack anyway. Okay. I have one. Cannot take this yet. Let's move you in there. These guys are all too weak to really do anything except for them. If there are any units that are useful, I'll be very glad to use them, but I don't think most of the units are that useful. 14 and 15. Yes, they are. They are useful though. Okay. Sure. It's isolated, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, one thing I'd be worried about. Let's see, you're at 7-7. Okay, that's good. Let's take these. Put you back. I'll take these a bit later. Okay. One is fine enough. And they got cornered. There we go. This reward is sabotage. And to be honest, sabotage is probably even worse than smirch. So let's forget about it. Let's get. Yeah, I suppose we're done here. Let's deploy those units. I don't think that matters for whether they would come back or not. All those units are way too late. Okay. Well, I want to take that, so let's disband that again. Get the rest on the railroad. There don't seem to be any other things that I can take. Let's just make sure. I think it would be a shame to miss out on any potential steps, but there aren't. Okay. And that's it. In the scenario. Didn't get that many points, even though we didn't even lose that much. But there we have it. That's Demyansk offensive. Like I said, there's some luck involved, definitely down in the south, especially. That's that can be quite tricky. I did have the paratroopers, so technically what you could do is you could just dump paratroopers on Veliki Luki and be fine if you have them from the previous mission. But if you don't, I think that the way I did it is probably one of the few ways to get Veliki Luki on time. It would be a shame not to get it. Anyway, next up will be the Lyuban offensive. We have 3 missions left to go, I suppose. The Rzhev offensive with Western and Kalinin. Interestingly enough, some of the units from Northwestern, I think, are supposed to then come back in the Rzhev offensive. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be going for another suicide mission in the next one, in the Lyuban offensive there, relieving Leningrad. Thanks for watching, take care, see you next time. Bye-bye.